Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, November 22nd. Looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and NQ. Well, again, we talk about respecting short-term traders and how they can move a market. Very large overnight range turned to a very large regular trading hour range for both ES and NQ. I'm going to go over all my trades in a minute. They caught me again, but got it all back and more. I had a decent day. But we'll go over everything. Let's start first with Righty. Righty goes out. They did fill the trip. They had a quadruple distribution day at one point. Late in the day, they took back, well, they had taken back the quadruple earlier. Then they just took back the triple in M. But they do go out with a double distribution day. And they are now up on their daily, and they held their gap from today. Something that ES and NQ certainly can't say. NQ goes out with only an 8-wide POC, an afternoon pullback in J, and they never filled that upside gap. Remember, we said that gap will not get filled unless you have a large gap into it and or a strong trend day. Well, we had a pretty decent gap into it. And that also led to my issues, but we'll go over them in a minute. ES ends with just an afternoon pullback in F, and I'm going to use A's high as a price spike. Even though we closed right around it, since we popped above it in G, there was no real acceptance back below it. Now, we did attempt to go trend 3 times today to the upside, and they failed. We had a gap up, failed, trend day down, failed, and the trend day, 3 attempts at a trend day up failed. But we are up in the daily. That's a definite. So the day started out, and this is a healthy market. The volume stinks and everything else. But except for ES and Righty being in balance on their weeklies, the other 7 time frames are up. Monthlies, weeklies, and dailies for these things. So in A period, I almost missed it, but I did get the overnight high in ES. We gapped high. It was a decent gap. I mean, the gap was, what was the gap? 100 points or so, like $2. I got in late. I wanted to get long right above the opening, but it kept ripping, so I got my trade, but didn't get as much out of it as I wanted. And they took back a bunch of the gap. Now, they still had 60-something points, but you had gap, value, overnight high, and indices to start the day. So when they pulled back, I never thought they would pull back the way they did. So they pulled back, and I got hurt. I lost 200 points. Which I did yesterday. I'd only made probably 20 on the upside, so I was down pretty good again, just like yesterday. Yesterday I battled back, I lost 100 points. But again, that's my fault. It's not the market's fault, nobody's fault but mine. I said to the room this morning, and in the video, wide overnight, long overnight, which means the odds of them stretching are good. You got to respect it. But I did think with the 4 things I just mentioned, the bulls were still powerful enough that they would hold it. We were above the 144 also. Anyway, came in, got smacked. But I battled back. I took a short in B period to get A's low. So I started chipping away on that. Believe it or not, when we came back up, I thought we had a chance to go trend down. I'm sorry. I didn't know if we were going to go trend down, but above A's low, I was comfortable shorting it again. Well, I did, and I gave back a bunch again. So after B period, I was down on the day still. But we started nailing them. C period, I got the IB low for a good one. The single print fill, actually it did go trend, I'm sorry. The single print fill, I took a short, backed off, I made money on that. I took a long in ES to get the IB high in G period. So that was my only ES trade. And then NQ, I took a bunch of shorts against the opening in I, which worked. Then I took the short to break the one-time framing in J, which worked. I did take a short in L against the afternoon rally high in the opening in J period. I ended up losing like 4 points. But after being down, so I made 20, then I lost 200. After being down 180, I got that all back and more. I made probably close, I don't know, 100 points on the day. So it's been a lot of work for 2 days to be even, because I lost 100 yesterday. I've seen the market well, but I didn't give them a chance to move, both yesterday and today. Got to constantly remind myself that these short-term traders can move market. Also, the overnight was not long. It was short. Yes, we rallied hard. Okay? I'm sorry. What am I saying? Yes, the overnight... Give me 1 second here. Here's yesterday. Right, the overnight was short. Here's settlement. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. Here's settlement. This is all short. Yes, we traded above this good, but there's no way. Look at this volume from here as opposed to all this here. So there's no way the market was long overnight. It was still short. So that was another reason when it pulled back. I didn't think we would get as drastic a pullback as we did in A. A went from 905 to 628, almost 300 points, and then B continued it. So again, talk about moving a market. They did. And again, the overnight was short, not long. So net, I worked my ass off for 2 days to basically break even. I'm good with that. You know, it's good to get in the mud and battle every once in a while. Like I said yesterday or the day before, what day was that? What day was that I thought they were going to take out the IB low? I forgot. But, you know, some of these trades I would still do again. Was that yesterday in NQ? I forgot where it was. But anyway, we battled. The bigger picture is the market's healthy. Look, earnings are all the big tech earnings are done. Yes, the Fed meets next month. But you got Thanksgiving next week. You got Christmas next month. This market is telling you it wants to still go higher. Yes, you might get some pullbacks. Yes, there's been incredible emotional trading. But it's still telling you it wants to go higher. So right now, at least in the short term, these vicious pullbacks, if and when we get them, I still think will be bought. I really do. I think we will make new highs on the year. I think IWM eventually will go get their all-time high also at some point this year. So, as far as our charts, now I might leave early tomorrow. Not sure. If I do, there won't be a recap. If I don't, I will. But here's our charts. So let's look quickly in case I'm not here tomorrow. Okay? So the monthly is very healthy in the ES, right? The weekly is balanced because we took out last week's low by 2 ticks. SPY is an inside week right now. So that would bring it from up to balance if it's an inside week. And then we see how we come out of that. But the daily finally broke out of this balance. And we filled that gap up above. Now we also filled today's gap. So we don't have an island top gap and we don't have a second island bottom gap. But we still have this one below. Volume horrible again, 43 million. And then let's just look at triple Qs real quick for NQ. Here's the daily. They're still holding the island top. They didn't fill it, but they're holding the island bottom. A nice little hammer on their candle. But these short-term emotional traders have not made it easy. And the weekly is still up with an inside week right now. Okay? And the monthly is up. So I would rather trade against long-term money any day of the week than to trade against this short-term nonsense at times, especially when they just skew MGI. Keep in mind, the Bears had the lead again today on our checklist sheet early. The Bulls and ES won 6-1. The Bulls won 3-2 for the second day in a row in NQ. So even though they've attempted 2 days in a row, the Bears, to try to wrestle some control, they gave it all back. Hope you had a good day trading. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. You know, I'm getting 70 views, 80 views. How about you hit that like button for me? Right? Takes 2 seconds to do. Thank you. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.